Hi Aquarius, and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, the setup is a bit different. Usually I am in front of the camera, but this month I'm doing readings behind the camera. It's honestly just because the energy is kind of off. My energy is just off. So I've been doing mostly all of my videos as just voiceovers. That includes on my main channel as well. So yeah, you're just going to be seeing the cards this month. So this is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and this will be a love and spirituality reading for the remainder of October. And as always, I'll be doing an extended video after this, and that will be in the description box down below. And also make sure that if you have not subscribed, that you subscribe down below so you won't miss any further videos. Okay, so let's see for Aquarius. I'm going to shuffle behind the camera because it's just awkward to try to reach my arms around and shuffle in front of it. So Aquarius, when I was meditating on your energy, I did get a strong energy of releasing addictive patterns. So I'm expecting something along those lines to come out here. So let's see. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the remainder of October. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. The Ace of Swords in reverse. And the Four of Swords in the upright. Okay, so that is for the past. And then we have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So the Knight of Cups comes out first, and this is in the past position. So I feel like what this card is talking about is in the recent past, you may have decided that it was time to withdraw your energy, and it was time to stop overextending yourself to people, to situations that you were getting nothing in return in. I feel like these were situations where in the beginning at some point you felt a strong connection to, so you decided to keep on giving, but it got to a point where things just kind of fizzled out is what I'm hearing. There was like a disconnect, and then there was a realization that you can no longer get anything from the situation, so it's best to stop giving to it. I also feel like many of you stopped giving to a situation because in the recent past you've realized that you have been kind of using a situation as an escape instead of it being a genuine connection. It's kind of like when your life isn't going the way that you would like it to go, so you just happen to meet someone and then your connection is kind of dysfunctional or it's kind of off, and you continue to feed that energy or you continue to entertain that person because your life outside of them isn't going the way you want it to go, and you're trying to escape from your reality through a situation. So I feel like in the past you may have had that realization and decided to pull back your energy. So the Ace of Swords in reverse is also here. So that means that there was a lot of confusion involved, that there really wasn't any clarity on your end. I'm thinking that the other person was clear about how they stood with you. I don't know why I'm getting that message, but I'm getting it kind of strongly. It just gives me, I'm getting this energy of someone, there was one person in the connection who actually was clear about what they wanted, and then another person who was somewhat confused. So there could have been manipulation involved, but it also could be just miscommunication, misunderstandings. It's like two people on two different pages but trying to get on the same page. Like for some of you, I'm getting the message of it could have been a situation where someone was being manipulative, like I said, so they were aware of their intentions because their intentions were not pure, but you were kind of in a state of confusion because you went in with pure intentions. But for some of you, that's not the case. For some of you, it was just two people on two different wavelengths that just could not seem to get it together, is what I'm seeing. So that caused a lot of confusion, which is probably why this Knight of Cups is here, because when you're in the Ace of Swords energy, especially being an air sign, you won't give any of your love to any situation, or you won't give your energy to any situation when you are confused on a mental level. Like when you're mentally confused and you feel stagnant in your thoughts and you can't figure out what's really going on in the connection, that's when you will tend to pull back. And a lot of people, you know, Aquarius has that stereotype or that cliche put on them like, oh, Aquarians are so detached, they're so detached. But honestly, this is a perfect depiction of why Aquarians are the way they are and why they're able to detach, because it's like a disconnect between their thoughts and their feelings. So it's like, how do I explain this? It's like with an Aquarius, you being an Aquarius, I know you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like with an Aquarius, when we see that a connection is off and is causing us mental confusion, we get into this state where we can actually observe our thoughts instead of letting it trigger us emotionally. So, for example, if you were in a situation with someone and, like I said, they were putting you in a state of confusion, at first it is very painful. And at first it is like you want to keep on giving and giving because you want it to work out. But then eventually it gets to a point where your mind kind of disconnects from it. It's like you continue to have thoughts about that person, but the feelings kind of breeze on by, if that makes sense. So that's why Aquarians and air signs in general have that rep for being detached, because it's like if we're in a state of mental confusion, our mind and our emotions will start to disconnect from each other so that we can detach from a situation that isn't going anywhere. So the Four of Swords is also here. Let me wait for the message to come through for this. I feel like this Four of Swords card is talking about being in a state of rest, being in a state of, like I said, not wanting to overextend anymore, being in a state of feeling somewhat exhausted, and so that's why you had to pull back. And this Four of Swords represents like rest and meditation. Some of you could have really been going through it. Like the energy that I'm getting with this card is that some of you desperately needed for this connection to end, and you desperately needed a break from one another, from that connection, because things were that draining and that hectic and that heavy to you, is what I'm seeing. A lot of you could have been having like nightmares about that situation in the past, or like a lot of dreams could be coming back up to you presently about that situation from the past, is what I'm seeing. So that's interesting past energy. So overall, I feel like there was just some type of disconnect that took place, but it was something that had to be done because it was disturbing the peace. The Six of Cups card is also at the bottom of the deck. So the Six of Cups card is usually the past life card or the reconciliation card. So I'm getting two messages of either you did not want a reconciliation or that person didn't want a reconciliation, which could tie into that Knight of Cups in reverse. So someone could have possibly been waiting on an offer to try to rekindle things, and one person wasn't on the same page with it or didn't want it. So it's like an energy of something that needed to really end, like there could really be no reconciliation, like the situation has been exhausted. But the Six of Cups also talks about past life connections as well. So I'm thinking that you could have had a situation with someone recently that you actually knew in a past life, or that you actually had some unfinished business with in a past life. So it's kind of like you got the opportunity to do it all over again, or to fix something that was broken in a past life. And if you don't believe in past lives, it could just be in your recent past. So if something was very damaging to you in the recent past, not the recent past, it could be like your childhood as well. If something was very damaging to you back then you will meet someone who will kind of mimic that experience and trigger you, so that then you can have an opportunity to heal that part of yourself. But I feel like you may be feeling like it wasn't successful, is what I'm getting, because I'm just getting this energy of some of you could actually be spiritually aware, so you could actually know this information. Like you could actually know, like, okay, this person was from my past life, or I'm replaying trauma with them, and you could kind of be feeling like because you're actually aware of this, that you failed for some reason, or that you didn't. It's like things didn't work out the way they're supposed to, because when we have strong soul connections, we feel like things are supposed to have a happily ever after, or things are supposed to end on a positive note. But I'm just seeing that, like, whatever way this ended, it was meant to end that way, and however this played out, it was meant to play out that way. So even if you feel like you didn't resolve any issues, or you feel like you still have unfinished business with this person, I feel like it's safe to say that things ended the way they were supposed to, and there was really nothing that you could do further in that situation to have a positive outcome. Like things happened exactly the way they were supposed to. Sometimes negative outcomes actually are meant to happen for our own growth. So that's what I'm seeing for the past. So let's pull for the present position, Aquarius. The Three of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Page of Cups. A lot of Cups energy here, and that makes a lot of sense because the Venus retrograde right now, it's a lot of reflection going on in terms of emotions, in terms of the heart space. So we have the Three of Wands here in the reverse. So with that being in the present position, I feel like a lot of you are somewhat in a state of confusion, not knowing which way to go, not knowing what's happening next. Some of you could be in the dark night of the soul right now, meaning that you're in this weird transitional period where you're being faced with a lot of your shadow, where you're being faced with a lot of pain or trauma that you don't know how to deal with. And so it is causing you a lot of confusion. I feel like some of you, with this energy coming right underneath the Knight of Cups in reverse, I feel like some of you were hoping or expecting some type of offer, whether it be an apology or whether it be a rekindling of a friendship from the past. I feel like some of you were expecting an offer from someone and it never came, and so this is something that may be coming back up for you within the Venus retrograde, and it's leaving you in a state of confusion. But I feel like this could actually be a positive thing, because this is something that needed to be reflected on anyway, because it's something that kind of happened and then you kind of moved on from it, or something that kind of happened where you just felt like, okay, I have no choice but to move on, and then you're just moving right along, but that energy is still stuck, or that energy is still there, so it's something that still needs to come up. So I feel like if you are in a period of stagnation, then this is an excellent time to reflect on past situations and try to grasp the higher lesson of them, so that then you can move into more of the space of forgiveness. Once you start to see the higher octave of lessons, and when you start to understand why people do the things they do, and understand that hurt people, you can start to move into a space of forgiveness. And I know that Aquarians, we are a fixed sign, so we can be a bit stubborn when it comes to our thoughts, because we have fixed mental energy, it's fixed air energy. So we can be a bit stubborn when it comes to our thoughts and the way that we perceive certain situations. And so it would be in your best interest to try to change your perspective about a situation and see how it actually has helped you to grow and learn. Not to say that if somebody hurt you, that you should be thanking them, like, oh, thank you for helping me grow, because, sometimes it's just too soon for that. Like, sometimes the wound is too fresh and you don't want to thank them for putting you through what they put you through. But you can definitely start to thank yourself for having the courage and the strength to keep trying and to keep moving forward and to not give up. So I feel like I said, start moving into that energy of understanding the higher octave of it and focusing on what's still in your life and who's still in your life, as opposed to someone who didn't offer you something in the past, or someone who didn't come back to make things right, or anything, or something along those lines that happened in the past, I'm seeing. So the King of Cups is also here at the top of the deck. So the King of Cups is someone who has mastered their energy, and I feel like that is what you are taking on here. That's what you're learning here through this situation, is how to master your energy and master your emotions, how to take your mental thoughts and direct them at things that you can actually change versus things that you have really no control over. Because I feel like this situation, it was really not in your control, and that a situation like that is a perfect opportunity. It creates the perfect environment for you to be in this energy of, like I said, learning how to master your energy, because sometimes people are really going to leave you hanging. People are going to really disappoint you, and it's like, if you can get through that on your own, meaning that person doesn't come back and apologize, and that person doesn't come back to make it right, and you're able to find peace of mind and closure on your own, that truly helps you to evolve within your emotions, and it helps you to master your emotions. So I feel like that is what's happening here. So this could be a situation that's very positive if you allow it to be. So the Six of Swords is also here in the reverse, and the Six of Swords is at the heart of the reading. So because it's at the heart of the reading, I'm actually going to read it out of the book. With these cards, I want to start with these cards, sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought. With these cards, when the card that's in the middle, like in the present position in the middle, that's your crowning energy, meaning that that's the energy that is showing up most heavily in the reading. So I'm going to actually read it directly out of the book. So the Six of Swords. Okay, perfect. And the Six of Swords represents represents the sign of Mercury in Aquarius. So that is perfect for this reading. So the key words here are objectivity, clarity, analyzation, and ecstatic visions. Let me hold this up. I'll hold it in the upright, and I'll just read what it says for both the upright and the reverse. So it says, a woman perches on the edge of a cliff, overlooking a serene, rocky landscape and a bright, clear sky. She takes in the immense beauty and inspiration from a great vantage point and is able to make informed decisions about her next steps. We have climbed out of confusion and find ourselves having a perspective we perhaps did not expect. The joy and relief can be almost overwhelming. The rapturous love and beauty of our new perspective abolishes our ties to old behaviors and relationships which no longer serve us. And then in the reverse, it says, perhaps there is still some climbing to do out of old modes of being. Be patient with your process. Repeat the mantra, I climb to the top in my own time, appreciating every step of the way. Okay, perfect. So basically, in the upright, this talks about someone who is very clear on their path, who is able to step away from old energy, old patterns, old habits, old people and connections, and really have a fresh slate and kind of move forward in a very effortless way. Not effortless, but more so moving so in a lighthearted way, meaning that they drop the baggage. So because this is in the heart of your reading and because it's in the reverse, just like it said in the book, this talks about not really having a direction because there's still things that you need to let go of. There's still things that are still weighing on you. And it's important that you let go of these things slowly but surely. Like it said, you are needing to enjoy this journey every step of the way and take your time. So make sure that you're not turning yourself kind of into like a project, like, okay, I need to heal myself and get from point A to point B, and you start treating your life as if it's a project and your whole life is revolved around healing, and that can actually be what keeps you stagnant and stuck. So it's important to make sure that you're enjoying your life in the process of healing and not just treating yourself kind of like a project, but also at the same time it's important to get very clear about where you want to go, because until you get clear about that, you will continue to run back to the past and past situations. Like I said, when I was meditating on your energy, I was getting a strong energy of someone who may have a love addiction, or may be addicted to a person, maybe addicted to dysfunctional behavior. It's like an addiction to very highly charged emotional situations is what I was seeing. Also, some of you could have an addiction to escapist tactics, and that could be anything really, drugs, anything. You could be addicted to daydreaming as a form of escape. So sometimes when we do that, or when we have these addictions or these habits that we can't break, it's impossible almost to move forward, because it's like we stay in limbo and then we try to revert back to the past, because we need to heal in the present moment in order for us to move forward. So if we're constantly living in the past and using old ways of coping, it's hard to see your future. So I feel like there's something, like I said, that needs to be let go of, and in order to let go of your past, you have to have something to look forward to also. So there may be a need for you to invest in yourself and invest your time into your passions. So that's what I am getting. Now, the Page of Cups. It's interesting because we have the Page of Cups and also we have the King of Cups. So the Page of Cups is like the beginning stages of someone who is on this like journey to become an emotionally mature human being. So I feel like you may be at the beginning stages right now, or it's right now. I was going to say you were in the beginning stages in the past, but this is present energy. So I feel like you may be in the beginning stages right now. You're at the Page of Cups. So this might be something new to you. You may be really starting to approach situations differently from an emotional standpoint. Like, for example, if some of you struggle with codependency, after this cycle, you could now be realizing that that's not how you want to live your life in terms of your relationships. That's not how you want to react in terms of your emotions and the way you interact with people. So you may be going through an extensive healing process right now. And the point of it is for you to, like I said, learn to master your emotions, and you're in the beginning stages right now. So make sure that you are taking your time with this. Make sure that you are not, like I said, turning yourself into a project and trying to rush through your healing because you feel like you have a destination. It's not really a destination, it's a journey. So every step is just as important as the next, and every step is just as important as the last. So don't try to skip through it, because it is a process to get from the Page of Cups and expand and grow into the King of Cups, into someone who has mastered their energy. So it definitely is a process, and I feel like it's right now you are in a state where you may feel like you're not making progress, but you really are. You really, truly are. Just by even watching this reading, by seeking out spiritual knowledge, a lot of people don't do that at all. So make sure you're giving yourself a lot of credit. And again, sorry, I'm shuffling the cards. And again, this doesn't have to always have to do with romantic partnership. This could also have to do with love. I mean, not love, with friendship, with family. So just take it as it resonates. It could also have to do with career as well. So let's pull for the future position, and then I will move on to the extended. We will look at the future position in the extended. The Magician card. the Eight of Pentacles, both in the reverse. And the King of Swords. So, the Magician card talks about, oh, maybe I should move these up some. The Magician card talks about manifestation. And with the Magician card being in the reverse, there may be something that you are trying to manifest that you're having a hard time doing so. So that's in the future position, so we'll look at that in the extended. The Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. So this talks about a lack of focus or a lack of discipline, which would make sense coming up right next to the Magician card. So that's something that we will have to clarify in the extended. And the King of Swords. So this is the Aquarius energy coming up strong. So, I'm not really getting an energy with this card. I would have to clarify it. But this is your card, so you coming up in your reading in the future position is a good thing, because that means that you're going to be very self-focused in the near future. So I will clarify this in the extended. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. I will leave the link to the extended down below, and I will see you over on Vimeo. Bye.